Welcome to the cycle of life, where plants, animals, microbes, humans coming together to form a beautiful cluster of indifferences. Life. Life is nourished, treasured, valued. People write songs for it just to rejoice their life. But what if one day life is gone? Millions already surrendered life because of some things everyone is afraid of. Disease. Disease is only one of the biggest causes of death worldwide. It's an illness which affects people, animals, or plants caused by bacteria or infection.
As a medtech, it concerns us regarding the emerging and re-emerging diseases here in the Philippines. Um, in our profession, we are also aware that these organisms that causes these diseases are the one we're testing in the laboratory. It concerns it in a way that we should always make sure that the diagnosis that we're giving to our patients are correct. Why? Kasi in the laboratory, we are doing the diagnostic test of whether these re-emerging and emerging diseases are the one our patients has. So, very important siya na of course, yung method of diagnosis is still um, able to detect this organism. As we all know, all microorganisms, both pathogenic and even those that are commensal to our body, there are several factors for them to thrive. So for these emerging and re-emerging diseases, this particular microorganism that causes them, there are several factors that we need to consider. First is of course the host. So the immunity of the host, whether it is immunocompetent or immunocompromised, because there are individuals that are more susceptible to these diseases, these emerging diseases, because of their immune state. So whether immune compromised sila or immunocompetent, that would play a vital role kung mai-infect sila or not. Aside from that, we can also consider the organism itself. So, ano yung virulence factor that is inherent to this organism that causes them to be infective to that particular host. We can also consider their pathogenicity, ano yung certain characteristic of these organisms that enable them to penetrate the immune barriers of the individual. So there's a long list about that. And aside from that, we can even also consider the environment where the host and the organism is present. So take for example here in Manila, there is an increased prevalence of leptospirosis. Why? Because many people are now going here in Manila, and alam natin na dito sa Manila, yung surrounding natin, just as yung konting ulan lang, our streets can be flooded. So that can also be a factor. So yung urbanization in our case can even play a role in the spread and even in this yung communication and ng emerging and re-emerging diseases in our country. So I have been in practice as a medical technologist for 3 years, and um, for me, as I have observed, the most common emerging diseases that I have encountered in our laboratories, of course, the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome caused by the human immunodeficiency virus or HIV. Um, this is the number one emerging diseases, not only I believe not only in our laboratory, but it is raising an alarming number in our country. So AIDS is really one of the emerging diseases that we need to look at. Also, like what I mentioned, leptospirosis is also one, because Manila is now highly urbanized. Even yung mga karatig na places are also being urbanized. So there is also a possibility na na the spread of leptospirosis will also be observed. We also know just recently the dengue hemorrhagic fever also make a buzz regarding yung vaccine niya, di ba? So dengue is also one of the emerging diseases in our country. Before it's just seasonal, but seasonal lang dati yung ano eh, yung dengue. It just goes in the rainy season. But now, yung dengue natin, yung dengue hemorrhagic fever can be observed whole year round. So it is possible na these viruses have already mutated. On the other hand, we also have the re-emerging diseases. The re-emerging diseases that are mainly caused by our antimicrobial resistant microorganisms or bacteria specifically. So our yung mga AMR natin, yung mga antimicrobial resistant organisms natin are also the one causing these re-emerging diseases.
Well, pathogenic microorganisms become antibiotic resistant nowadays because sometimes one of the bacteria survive because they have the ability to neutralize or escape the effect of the antibiotic. That one particular bacterium can then multiply and replace all the other bacteria that were killed off. While antibiotics are used to treat bacterial infections effectively, they are not effective against viral infections like the common colds, flu, or sore throats.
Especially sa amin as medical technologists, because every day we're exposed to several specimens that are potentially infectious. So, of course, number one dyan, diet. Of course, yung food natin. Of course, yung vitamins that we need to take. But to take you on my profession, number one that is very important is hand hygiene. Because number one din tayong career minsan eh. Akala natin yung kamay natin mismo, tayo din mismo yung nagte-transfer ng mga organisms from one place to another. So we're also a possible vector to this organism. So hand hygiene is very important. Aside from that, as a medical technologist, we're also always observing the use of proper personal protective equipment. So lab gown, gloves, mask, goggles if needed. That's very important in the prevention of these diseases. You can go from house to house and ask them about this particular disease, this particular infection, this particular organism, and even yung tinatawag natin sa science world na antibiotic apocalypse. Most of the Filipinos are not aware of that. So the number one thing that our Philippine government, for me, na kailangan nilang gawin is to raise awareness regarding this matter. Raise awareness as early as elementary, sa school, and even sa public health natin, sa mga communities. They should raise awareness for us to prevent the possible damage that these emerging and re-emerging diseases can pose. Aside from that, I know that there are actually measures from the Department of Health in collaboration with a lot of organizations that already have naggagawa sila ng mga manuals when it comes to the biosafety, na biosecurity in our country.